This video is going to have a look at the concept of gradient and working out the gradient between two coordinates. So this is when we're given two coordinates. You might be given this question where you have a picture of a graph and you have to read two coordinates off the graph and find the gradient, but I'm going to focus on when we have those two coordinates and what we do with it. The rule that we're going to use is m equals y2 minus y1 equals x2 minus x1. When I see my coordinates, to start with, I'm going to write x1, y1, x2, y2 on the top of those coordinates. I find that this is a really helpful step to help students when they then go to substitute into their equation. Over the years, I've tried some different strategies to help students with this because it's often where they will make errors in that they will substitute the wrong value in for y2 or y1 and then it won't work out. And this is the way that I've found has been the most helpful of what I've tried. So we've written our x1, y1 and our x2, y2 there. So now we'll write our rule. So then when we look at this, we don't have to then think about which one's the second coordinate, which one's the first coordinate, because we've got it written up here ready for us. So we just look up here and say y2 is 10. Take away my y1 is 4, over x2 is 2, take away x1 is 0. Now 10 take away 4 is 6, 2 take away 0 is 2, so in this case my gradient is equal to 3. Having a look at another example here, I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to write my x1, y1, x2, y2. Now I do get commonly asked, how do I know which one's number 1 and which one's number 2? It doesn't matter, as long as you have the 1s with each of them and the 2s in the same bracket. You could have had x2, y2, x1, y1 there, and it would still work out. As long as you're consistent that you have the same number for the same coordinate, it will work out okay. And as long as you've got your x on your x coordinate and your y on your y coordinate. So we're going to write our rule. And then our y2 is 7, take away our y1 is 13, over our x2 is 4, take away our x1 is 1. So 7 take away 13 is going to give me negative 6, and 4 take away 1 is 3. So in this case, my gradient is negative 2. Now in my last one, I'm going to do the same process again. x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to write my rule, and then I'm going to substitute in what I know. So I've got 5, take away 4, over 2, take away 1. So I end up with 1 over 2, or a half. So our gradients can be positive, they can be negative, and they can be fractions. So they could be positive or negative fractions. So the gradient just describes the slope and how much the y is changing with respect to the x. So as long as you are using your gradient rule there, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, labeling your coordinates, substituting them in, then you should be fine to work out your gradient between two coordinates.